up on my, the classics, conservative or this, that ideology. Every once in a while, it's good to read the old books, because a lot of the new stuff in Game B or whatever, it's just old stuff with new language attached to it to sound cool, because he was a serial entrepreneur, and of course he was a programmer, and of course he's an intellectual, and of course he's got all these new ideas, except he doesn't have any new ideas, just new rhetoric, or not even rhetoric, new jargon. But I've hemmed and hawed about that for a long time, so who cares? But anyway, some of them actually write well, and that makes all the difference. Even people that annoy me when they're talking can write something that's compelling, interesting, and kind of makes me think a little bit. Of course, why would I care? And that's the whole point. It's like, when you think about this nanosecond from midnight situation we're in with Ukraine and Russia, the West against the bear, it kind of focuses your mind and heart and soul on just being a happy human being if you can. I'm talking about those of us who are fortunate, have our health, have enough resources to live well. I'm not saying wealthy. It's not a class thing. You could be in Oklahoma or West Texas and happy with your libertarian thing and your family traditions and all that. It's all good. But the point is, back in the olden days, they used to say, follow your bliss. Yeah, not bad advice. Not too silly. So yeah, it's good to do that if you can, because being alive is a really wonderful thing. I don't know where all these nouvelle pathologies are exactly coming from, how bad the internet is for you or not. For me, it's not really that bad. I know when to finger my phone and when to leave it in my pocket. I know when to read my articles and watch my YouTube and when not to. Maybe you don't think I'm moderate enough. But it's hard when everyone has an echo chamber and bubbles. You think you're clever in your little clique, you think you got it all sorted and sussed, because you're in your clique on your website and you've got paid subscribers who want to hear exactly what you have to say. And what I want to say to people is, there's nothing wrong with that, but just get out of that bubble once in a while and go somewhere else. That's the whole Daniel Schmachtenberger thing. Nothing original or new, but it's definitely a good way to think about things. There's nothing wrong with focusing in on your hobbies and what makes you happy. That's all good. But if we're going to live in this world, this complex world, we might as well pay attention to everything that's going on. I tend to think that no matter which way it goes, better or worse, it's it's just going to go that way. So we might as well be prepared for whatever may come. So yeah, if you want to go back to that paleo thing or the Bronze Age whatnot and be real men, get really radical Nietzschean and all that, you know, forego the Steven Pinker for manlier things. And don't think I couldn't punch Jordan Peterson in the face and get away with it. Come on, Jordan, bring it on. All these old men who think they're tough. The youngsters, yeah, you know, there was a couple guys got in a fight down in the Algarve, both Brits, both in their 30s. A little bit of a knife fight, and one of them got killed. So you go down to Portugal to live the life, and you'll end up stabbing somebody to death. Your compatriot, no less. Who knows what they were struggling over or fighting about. But a few nukes, and yeah, we could be back to the Bronze Age. That could happen. Something a little more like it, not exactly. But yeah, if that's what you fancy, then go get bloody, man. Life's short. Live it up. One of these London-esque burning stars. See, I didn't kill myself with opioids, drugs, sex, too much masturbation on the internet. I killed myself in a knife fight. I was marching with the legions. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
So, that sounds exciting. You know, if there were benevolent kings in the past, you know, there was a sense of order. There was a place for people, but illiterate people, people who had to toil pretty hard, I don't think there's any paradise to point to there. It's just a way that human beings organized themselves for a long time. But the fact that it was a long time doesn't mean it's the ideal situation for today. And for every benevolent king, I think there might have been 10 that weren't. And you still have people who are chasing power. And absolute power corrupts absolutely, and so on and so forth. My thinking is if you're going to have people who have agency and are good leaders and so on, they better be well educated. Okay, define a good education. Is it a bank clerk from Yale? I don't know, probably not in my book so much, but you know, whatever. Or however you get your education after the nukes, if we still have an internet, or you do it at the home school or the charter school or the state university or the community college or what the heck ever. See? Mr. Mick, I'm going uphill. You see, it's not just downhill. This is a hilly place. You got to go up sometime. But whatever. And we're, I think, you know, with all the access to information and educational opportunities, we got a lot more people who are very well informed and well educated, but as a percentage of what? Population. And to what end? Where does it all go? How do you harness that human capital, intellectual capital? What are you going to do with it? Yeah, I'm all for robots doing all the shit work. But people have a lot of energy, especially young people. And they need to do something with it. So who is going to harness that energy? Why and to what ends? It's a big question. Big questions. Of course, you don't care because you're following your bliss. God bless you. and I'm happy for you. It would be a terrible waste if you had the means and you didn't. Tragic waste. I see the Ukrainian people, simple lives. I've been to Yalta and Odessa and Kyiv, and they don't want much. They've got each other. They've got their farms, their small businesses, their internet. They didn't deserve this. Putin's a monster, a criminal, an idiot, a shit for brains. But anyway, he's the one that we tolerated for 20 years, just like when the Taliban wins, Afghanistan loses.